Hello and welcome back to another episode of Craven Some Raven. And in this episode, I'm going to be breaking down what I saw in this truly remarkable, awesome beatdown of a game. Uh, Ravens versus the Texans, obviously, right? 41-7. Are you kidding me? Just to repeat what Earl Thomas said, I didn't think we were going to do them like that. I thought we were going to put up points. I thought they might be able to put up some points, but nah, just some garbage time bullshit. So, yeah, let's just jump right into things. This game was billed as a Lamar Jackson versus Deshaun What Son? What Son? What you got game? Because he turned it, for me, he turned into Deshaun What Son? You try to play hero ball against us, it ain't going to work out. Because we came to play today. All three phases. We came to play. Even the refs were on our side. I know y'all saw that Marlon Humphrey pass interference, which wasn't called. I'm surprised they didn't call it. That was a good challenge by Bill O'Brien. Definitely should have been overturned. I don't know what the NFL is thinking, making these reviewable, because they're already kind of iffy calls, and it's like, it has to be clear and obvious. Isn't that the statement that they said? And it has to obstruct the wide receiver's ability to make the catch. Bro, that was pass interference. So, we got the offense on our side, we got the defense on our side, making plays left and right, and then you got the refs also on our side, hometowning us to the victory. Now, I don't think, that one play, would that have changed a lot? I mean, it was early on. I don't think there were any points on the board at the time. But, that puts them right there on the one, and who knows? It could be a completely different game if they go up and all of a sudden their game plan changes, our game plan changes. You don't know. It's definitely a momentum-style game. And we never really relinquished the momentum once we got it, because early on both teams, we were giving the Texans everything, or making it easy for them, not giving them everything, in the sense that we were making mistakes left and right, dropping the ball. Lamar Jackson was not on one. It was coming out slow. It's like, okay, here finally, I had previously talked about, you can't expect this offense to just be rolling this hard this often. Like eventually it's not going to work one day, and they will have, you could call like a letdown game. You can't, and that with the defense too, like these turnovers, it's like you can't just expect it to happen each and every week, because that's not the way the NFL works. Eventually it will slow down. But not this week, man. I mean, Lamar, yeah, right. He came out slow, and I was like, okay, it looks like this is the week. Fuck, damn it. And of course, it's all that MVP watch is on him. Going against Deshaun Watson, like the game was built up to be. But then he started hitting his receivers, starting making the right reads, and it was all over from there. The defense didn't let up, and it was just an all-around beatdown. So I wanted to do an episode this week for my my picks this week. I didn't get that out, but a very good reason. I was going to record it on Saturday night after I got off work, but of course I broke down on the side of the road. So like the other day on Thursday. Sorry, I had to pause. I ended up getting a phone call, and I had to answer it, and it like automatically started ringing and pausing it. So what I was talking about is that, so on Thursday I'm going to work. All of a sudden my car, like my radio starts going on and off, my speedometer starts going crazy, everything's going crazy, like the acceleration isn't working. I was like, oh fuck, it's the battery. So eventually I get my boss, he picks me up, we get a new battery, it's all good, all groovy. But when I put the battery back in, I have an interlock in my car because I am on probation, because I got a DWI. Basically the moral of the story, don't get a DWI. It makes everything way more difficult. But I turned it on and it didn't turn on. I was like, oh fuck, I just replaced the battery and it's not working. So I took the key out. So when you do that with an interlock, it's a violation. And they tell you, hey, we're going to lock you out of your car in like 5 days. It's like, damn it, whatever. I'll deal with it on Monday when I don't have work. So of course I'm heading home on Saturday, and it turns out it wasn't the battery. I was just driving straight off the battery. And so turns out it was the alternator. So that was pretty fun because, right, it was Sunday. I got to watch football. There's no one who can do the work for me, especially since I have an interlock. I don't know how that works. Someone's were to replace it for me. So I had to get my truck towed back to my house, and I was like, fuck it. After the game on Sunday, I will just replace the alternator. So I wanted to do like an instant reaction episode. Shout out to my guy AT, who asked me to do one, or thought it would be cool if I did one. He's always commenting on the podcast on YouTube, so shout out to him for that. But yeah, I wanted to do that, but I needed to put in a new alternator. So that was a fun experience, figuring out how to put in a new alternator. It wasn't as difficult as I thought, but also working on cars, it's always a bitch. And and I wanted to record the episode for my game picks on Saturday night, but like I said, that should happen. So I was going to record it Sunday morning, but then my guy from SCG Sports hit me up on Twitter, and he was going live, and he was doing this live stream from a bar. And so I jumped in on that. So if you want to go and look at that, that's kind of like my pregame speech, or pregame, not speech, like pregame talking about the game. I wanted to get my picks out. I did put my picks out on Twitter, so if you follow me on there, you got to see what I went this week so far. I don't know where I stand. I haven't written down in my book. I write down each game and kind of circle a winner, and then just put a check and an X. And that's how high tech I go. I just pen and paper. It's nice and easy to keep track of. But I haven't checked or crossed off. I think I did pretty decent so far, and my bet's looking good. But we'll definitely go over that. But sorry I didn't get the episodes out. Life kind of came into the fold on that one. Had to take care of the car. So with that being said, we gotta break down this game, because this game, oh my god, this was a thing of beauty. Deshaun Watson, you suck. Just kidding, you don't suck. But the guy, he tries to play hero ball, and that's not gonna work against our team. Everything's been said, or I guess all bad things have been said about our pass rush, and even Ravens fans, we need pass rush, So they came to show up today. And it's not because they were beating their man right off the spot. It's because Deshaun Watson likes to hold the ball. And our back end, we were excellent at coverage. I think every single one of those was a coverage sack. The guy had to hold on to the ball. And Deshaun Watson, he wants to score a touchdown on each and every play. He loves doing that. So, all these highlights will make him so great. It's like, and none of those would have been possible if he just did the right thing and threw the ball quickly. Got the ball out of his hand quicker than he should. He just likes to hold on to the ball, likes doing all that fun, crazy stuff. It's exciting to watch, but I imagine as a Texans fan, can be very, very frustrating. I remember when I was on the stream with Sonny, there was a Texans fan in there. He ended up getting on because he has his own podcast, and he was in on the live stream saying all sorts of crazy stuff in the comments. So I sent him the link on Twitter, so he hopped on the stream, and he was saying stuff like, man, talking like, yeah, Lamar's good, but we have some fast linebackers. It's like, bro, I don't mean to tell you you're wrong to your face, but every single fan base that, like the week before, or when we're doing one of these streams, when I'm with another YouTuber, they're always in there saying, yeah, but our linebackers are fast. They can catch Lamar. Bro, maybe they are fast, but they are not Lamar fast. Lamar makes everybody look silly. And then even today on Twitter, the guy, I forget what his name is. I'll look it up here real quick, because he's a nice dude, a Texans fan. I think it was like, what was it? Third Coast Sports TV. Check him out on Twitter. He's a cool dude, but definitely covers all things Houston. And he sent out a tweet. You see what these Texans make me do? You see how crazy they make us? You see what we're talking about? It's like, yeah, well, that's what happens, man. I'm sorry to tell you, but Lamar makes everybody look silly. He frustrates every fan base. And like I said earlier, and like I'm going to say again with what Earl Thomas said, I didn't think we were going to do him like that. My score prediction was 42-33. I said that in my preview of this game, and I also said it on SCG's live stream. And I was close, I was right, but I didn't think we were going to do him like that. I mean, they put up 7 points in garbage time, running the ball where our guys are like, all right, let's just try and get the ball. Like they didn't want to tackle. They just were trying to get the ball. It's beautiful. I just rewatched the game, so everything's kind of fresh in my mind. I didn't take down any notes just because, like, fuck it, man. This is awesome. I don't want to write right now. I just want to watch this beauty of a game. I'm not gonna lie. I was nervous at the beginning because it was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter. I did not expect that. I thought both teams were going to come out firing, shooting on all cylinders. Like I said, the Ravens weren't playing their game. The Texans weren't playing their game. It's like, I don't really watch the Texans, but I imagine they come out a little bit hotter than that normally. So, looking at it like, man, Lamar, you got to make those throws. You got to make those throws. We got to get some more yards. Come on. And Tucker missed a field goal. I was like, what's going on, Tucker? What's going on with you? And he missed one, and then they're not going perfectly right down the middle. And it's like, oh man. And I get it. It's like he's been the greatest kicker of all time, like in the history of the game. So it's like we can give him some slack, but at the same time, it's like, he doesn't hit it perfectly down the uprights, and it's like, what's going on, man? What's going on with you, Tucker? What's wrong? That's how good he's been. That's how spoiled we are as a fan base when it comes to the kicker position. He kicks it perfectly almost every single time that it's a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. Yeah, it was more to the right in this game. He kept kicking it a little bit to the right, hit that upright on the right side, and it's not right. 3 rights make a left. Yeah, and we're so spoiled where, you didn't kick it down the middle. What the hell's going on? But you know what? He came through. He made the extra points. He missed the 1 field goal, but he made 2 more. And it was such a blowout that it really didn't matter. I mean, it really didn't. And this Texans team, they're not a bad team, right? They're firmly in the playoff picture. It's going to take a tanking from them to get out of the playoff picture, and I think they play the Patriots next, so that'll be an interesting game. I might pick them to win that one just because, you know what, go fuck yourself. Because it's one of those, like, yeah, the Ravens beat them down, but the Texans are still good. I mean, go fuck yourself, New England. Let's see how good New England is, and we'll see how good Deshaun Watson and the Texans are. Because if they go out and beat the Patriots, man, does that make the Ravens look good. Man, do it. Do it, make the Ravens look good. And if they win against the who we played, the Rams. If we win it versus the Rams and the Patriots lose, we're in the first seed. Yee. I kind of hope we lose this upcoming game just because I'm going to the 49ers game. So it's like I want them to be mad. I want them to be pissed off, right? I want them to have a little taste of humble pie. Taste that knuckle sandwich, just so that way they're like, okay, that's right. It still tastes bad. Like, let's get some more fuel. Because, I mean, after that, and we'll get into that definitely, like, later. We'll break down that game in another episode. But, I think teams, you need the struggle at some point in the season. We lost 2 in a row, and I think that was our humble pie. And it's been so long ago, right? 6 in a row, that maybe they need another taste. Need another bite of that humble pie. I don't wish them to lose. But, schematically, year-wise, it's like, if it makes you better in the long run, I don't know. Because they haven't been down in the longest time. They haven't been down a couple scores in the longest time. So maybe I don't wish that they lose this Rams game. Maybe I hope that they're down by 14 points at some point in the game, and then they come back and they realize that, hey, we can't just blow out every fucking team, even though that would be awesome. I mean, if they just continue to blow out teams like this, I mean, the Texans, right, they're no slouches. They continue to blow out teams like this and play the way they are, continue on this stream, just keep flowing down this stream of winning, and the way everything's calling and running and the way the team is feeling. You saw the way Mark Ingram, dude, that post-game speech, come and see me, I'm about that, whoop whoop. Oh my god, that's not something that is normal. You don't see players being that real with the media, getting that hyped about their team, really feeling themselves, not in an inappropriate way. He's just up there jerking off. No, he's feeling himself, with this team, the way it's going. And Mark Ingram wasn't even the best running back today. It was, or I guess on Sunday, it was Gus Edwards. And I've been saying it for a while. Like, Gus Edwards, I think he's honestly might be a better running back. It's just, I think the Ravens are going to try and like bring him out later on down the season. His legs are still 100% fresh. So let's just bring him in later, let him pound the ball once it starts getting colder and colder, which it is right now. So I think we're going to see more and more from Gus Edwards. And it's taking nothing away from Mark Ingram. I just like the way Gus runs a little bit more. I love that downhill. I'm running straight. Go fuck yourself. I'm running straight. Don't touch me. I ain't cutting for shit. I mean, he still does cut, but you get the point. Like, he is a north-south runner. And I love Mark Ingram. And I think the Ravens will be smart to continue to feed him the ball, because when he gets going, if he gets a touchdown, him on the sideline, he is the Ravens cheerleader. He is the Ravens hype man. Like, I want to be the Ravens hype man, but Mark Ingram, he's doing the dual position kind of spot where he is the hype man and the running back. It's like Patrick Ricard. Plays offense and defense. He does 2 things in one. Like, maybe I could be Waterboy and the hype man. But I mean, that's not as valuable as running back and hype man, So, that's a roster move that the Ravens might have to manipulate with. So hit me up, Baltimore Ravens. I'll be your hype man. I will overdo it way more. I'll go way over the top more than Mark Ingram. But I get it. Mark Ingram's definitely the one you want to hear. But yeah, I think having that kind of hype man and continuing this team or continuing the feeling that's in that locker room, I think that's hugely important. I think it's part of the reason that they're winning so well, because they're in the groove. You start the game, you don't know how it's going to go. You have a script, but you got to get into that groove of that winning mentality and that winning play style and the fun that they're having on the field and off the field. I think it's symbiotic. That's a big word, SAT, baby. But I mean, it's not a big word. I mean, whatever. It's amazing. This Ravens team, and I've said it, previous episodes, that they are truly hitting a stride right now that seems unstoppable. It is going to take the world's biggest hurdle to knock them down, to break their stride, to use a track term, hurdling and shit, spin moves and 40 meters, and it doesn't matter. Pass the baton, because Ravens, they might. They're definitely reaching the playoffs, but this team is something special. A lot of football still left, but obviously, just a killer team right now. I don't think anybody in the NFL wants to play the Ravens right now, the way they are cooking on all cylinders. And I think the only way to beat them at this point is in a shootout. And the way the defense has been playing, I don't really see that being a thing. I mean, breaking down, I guess the defense a little bit more, going more to that. I mean, they allowed the Texans to move the ball a little bit at the beginning of the game. But, like I said, they were opportunistic with the ball. And I was talking on SCG's live stream before the game that, if there's an interception, I think it's going to be late, like a hero ball type thing that Deshaun Watson tries to do. And it was kind of later. I think it might have been in the third quarter when he threw that interception, going to the right, throwing across his body like an idiot. What an idiot. That classic meme of Will Ferrell from Wedding Crashers. But, yeah, and I said, if we get turnovers, it's probably going to be early on by running backs and shit. But no, it was Deshaun Watson. He's trying to run around, trying to make crazy plays, and we get the ball. We get the ball out of his hands. He held onto the ball, I think I saw, for like 10 seconds, for over 10 seconds. That's ridiculous. You should get a play out of that. That might be... I think it actually was, in the past, I think it was the longest play before getting a sack in the past 2 seasons. So, I don't know what happened 3 seasons ago. I don't know who was holding onto the ball at that point or who had that. But Next Gen Stats, I think they pulled that up mid-game or might have been after the game. I can't remember. But, yeah, Deshaun Watson, you can't do that. But this defense, man, they came to play. I love seeing the new guys in there. They're very hard to miss. You got Pico, you got Panko breadcrumbs with his long ass hair, impossible to miss on the field. And you got Jellison, the biggest dude out there, way bigger than Brandon Williams. Just a huge dude. From Pico, I saw he kind of. He got some good push and some pass plays, but, running the ball, it seemed like he stayed at the line of scrimmage, kind of controlled his gap, and he is definitely a veteran who knows how to shed a block and make a tackle, because he was making tackles left and right, where when you see the play, it's like, oh, man, he got pushed off the ball a little bit, but no, he's still at arm's length and would be able to swipe and lunge forward and get to the tackle, and, allowing game tackles. I don't think he got any solo ones, not from what I remember seeing, but he was in on the tackles a lot of the time. Number 71, Ellison, like the biggest dude out there. Like I said, I saw him. He got an excellent push. On that drive when the Texans ended up scoring, I saw the first big run. It seemed like everyone's just going for the big hit at that point. The game is well in hand. Fuck fundamentals. Let's try and make some highlights. I feel like you don't want your team to do that, but at the same time, I understand what they're doing, because we were up, right? We were up like 34-0 at the time. It's like, whatever, man. Do whatever you got to do. They are not coming back in this game. It would be the craziest thing in football history if the Texans were able to come back from this. I would much rather see the highlights, and I understand. You don't want to see them get these long runs and look stupid out there trying to just make huge hits. But if it works and they make a crazy highlight, reaching for the ball and trying to use the stick move, go for it. If you're up that much, you've earned the right to do that. You've earned that right. And so yeah, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, I was talking about Ellison. Yeah, so he ends up getting the tackle, like 20 yards down the field, and man, that looked painful. He jumped on him like a lion on a gazelle and just boom flattened him. It looked like Snorlax landing on somebody. Dude's a beast. He's got to be close to 400 pounds. I mean, that's a big fucking dude. No wonder they call him Jelly. He's fucking oozing out of his ears. I don't know. He's filled up to the brim. Oh, man. Imagine when Peanut and Jelly combine for a tackle. I can't wait for that. PB&J, baby. Bringing it back to childhood. A great combination throughout history. PB&J. Let's get them in on a tackle together because that would be awesome. But yeah, man, other things on the defense that I loved. I love the way our secondary played. Besides that Marlon Humphrey pass interference that wasn't called, they played lights out. They're the reason that we got all of those sacks. I'm pretty sure almost all of them were coverage sacks. It was all because our secondary had their eye on the prize. They were able to cover their guys for more than just the regular play, but also, for that second play that John Harbaugh and a lot of other people talk about when it comes to the NFL. When the play breaks down, they were able to cover for that whole time. We're playing lights out, and we have an elite secondary, so it's no surprise, but it's still awesome to see, and I love to see it. They were playing lights out. I loved, DeAndre Hopkins, right? I said he would get his. He did get his, especially at the beginning. He got that toe drag swag. But after that play, I love seeing the way, Marcus Peters was interacting with him. Like, that ain't no catch, kind of like waving it off. And they're looking at the screen together. You see him talking on the sideline, having fun, hug it out, dap it up. Hey, good sportsmanship. I love it. Marcus Peters was fired up all game. He had that one deflected pass down the field to DeAndre Hopkins. Kind of got up, like hit his chest, like, let's go. Guys, we can't let Marcus Peters go to another team. Like there is no reason for that. I think if he goes to another team, I think he's one of these guys that thrives when there's better players around him. He's only. I think taking nothing away from him, but I think he's only an elite player like he is with us because we have those other guys. With the Rams, he wasn't elite. That's because, hey, you're the number one guy. You have to cover the number one guy. You're not allowed to risk it because if you don't, then their number one guy is going to get it. But, with our system, with all of these other great cornerbacks, with like Marlon Humphrey, Jimmy Smith, Brandon Carr, and Marcus Peters is allowed to kind of maybe not gamble a little bit more, but he's able to play his game a little bit more. We brought him in knowing what he was, and it seems like the defense is kind of using him perfectly. I mean, you have two pick sixes in like 3 games. You're doing something right, left. So yeah, just loving the swagger that we got from the defense, and like I said earlier, Deshaun Watson threw that pick to Josh Bynes. Man, he looks slow. I don't know how he's always in the right spot, but I've talked about this before. Josh Bynes, he may be a step behind, but he's 2 steps ahead with the way he plays the game. He may be a step slower, but his mind is 2 steps forward. So, net 1 step better than other linebackers. Because, man, he got that interception. He was running. It looked like 5 miles an hour out there. It's like, damn, give me the ball. Run faster than this guy. I don't think I'm that fast. Used to be. A fast white guy. That's right. Damn straight. But yeah, man, the defense. Oh yeah, Matt Judon. Matt Judon was playing lights out, and here's another guy. It's like, shit. I've said we shouldn't pay him. Just because of the price that he's going to command. Bro, I don't know how you let this guy go, because it's not just on the field. It's off the field. He is a leader in the locker room. He brings people together with his attitude. He does do those boneheaded things and whatnot, but, he is a believer in this team. He kind of brings the morale up. You almost pay him just for the morale boost. And, what would it do to the team if it's like, okay, they're not going to pay Judon? Like, what the hell? He's one of the leaders of the team. What is the council, right? He's one of the head members of the council. And it's a similar thing when it comes to Tony Jefferson. But I think Tony Jefferson, his play isn't up to par, and he's injured, and that's a tough thing. You can't cut a guy after he gets injured. That seems like a real fucked up thing to do, but that's the NFL. But I mean, if I don't know the deal when it comes to money wise, but I mean, we'll get into this in a later episode. We'll probably do an episode after the season or something, breaking down all the roster moves that I think we should make. And I haven't fully formed my thought. I'll definitely, like, when the season eventually comes to the close, I will try and narrow down my thoughts on what I think the Ravens should do. It doesn't really matter, but if you like listening to my opinions, then there you go. I'll give you my opinion. I'm Craven Some Raven, man. This is how I live my life. I want to talk about Ravens because I currently live in Albuquerque. I'm friends with no Ravens fans. I'm friends with a bunch of other football fan teams, or a bunch of other people who are fans of other teams, right? I'm friends with the Patriots fan, Steelers fan, Titans fan, Broncos fan, Cowboys fan, but no other Ravens fans. So I have all this, like, I wouldn't say useless knowledge, but all this random Ravens knowledge that's in my brain. And it's like, I got to do something with this. So hence the creation of the podcast and what I like doing. I got to have an outlet to, vomit all my Ravens opinions out, because when you're talking football, I can hang with them, but it's like, I just want to talk Ravens, really. And, friends get annoyed and just like, oh yeah, well, fuck the Ravens, blah, blah, blah. And it gets annoying to them. I know, because when my friends are fans of other teams, they keep hyping up their own team. It's like, I don't give a fuck. So this is my way to, kind of, like I said, just get it all out there, feel good. It kind of builds up, right? It's pent up energy about the Ravens. I don't know where this comes from. I don't know. I just in recent years just became a huge, huge Ravens fan. Like, I've always been a Ravens fan, but it's just entered a whole new level. I think it started when I really began looking into the draft and the draft process, and all these players coming out of college and what team they'll go to and all this. I think that's really when it became, like, crazy, nerdy, way out there, like, all right, here's the plan. And so I can't wait for the draft coverage to start, because I've already got some opinions on what the Ravens will do. We'll get to that. I already like a few players that I think the Ravens will have the ability to get. There's going to be quite a few elite offensive players, and whether they even want to go offense in this draft, we'll see, man. We'll get to that. I will definitely spew out my opinions on that one at a later date. But there's more to break down with this game. I talked about most of this game, but I haven't broken down much. I broke down the defense. So let's just move on to the offense. And Lamar fucking Jackson. L'amazing. Lamarkable. Oh my God. I don't know, man. It is amazing. The amazing Spider-Man. I mean, he is something special. And, I was just speaking about the draft, and I loved him out of the draft. And it's like, how did people not see this? I saw it. I don't get paid to do it, though, right? I don't get paid to do this. I don't get paid to have people listen about my draft opinions. But I was fucking right. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad he's proven me right. But this guy's... he is so special. He's only 22 years old, and it's like, how could you get better than this? How can you improve to what he's doing this year? Right? The only improvement he can do is just be consistent with it. Be consistent with it. Right? I mean, he's going to be the MVP this year. Anybody who says otherwise is just a fucking idiot. Plain and simple. I get it, Russell Wilson's played better, but anytime people make the argument for Russell Wilson, they talk about stats. It's like, oh yeah, that's great. Here's a stat for you. Lamar doesn't finish games, right? The man doesn't finish games. In fact, Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson were both taken off the field for how they played. An MVP candidate in Deshaun Watson, and the Ravens made him look stupid. Head-to-head matchups versus Russell Wilson, versus Deshaun Watson, versus Tom Brady. He's won those matchups. You came out of the game thinking, that Lamar Jackson, that's that dude. That's that dude right there. He's remarkable, man. Or Lamarkable, right? Isn't that that's the new word? I think it was Ian Eagle who said that. God, I don't like Ian Eagle, and I mean, what even is that name? Is it Ian? Or it is Ion? Ian? Ian? Ian Eagle? Are you saying like me and him? Like I and Eagle? Are those code names? The Eagle has landed. Like, I imagine he shows up. I bet you when he lands at an airport, he whispers to himself, the Eagle has landed. I mean, whenever I text my family, like, hey, I landed, the Eagle has landed. But my last name isn't Eagle. I mean, maybe is he like native? Is that his spirit animal? I don't know. But then Dan Fouts, I just find their voices annoying. You know, I want Tony Romo on all of our calls. I want to hear Tony Romo going, I don't know, Jim. I want to hear him get high-pitched and go crazy. I like Tony Romo. I think everybody does. Dan Fouts, Ian Eagle, fix your name. But I mean, I'm not a huge fan of those guys. Yeah, fix your name, bro. Fix your name. Get your shit together, Ian Eagle. You're endangered. You're an endangered species. Which, are they endangered anymore? I don't know. I don't know. But that's besides the point. Because it's not about who's calling the game on the field. It's about who's playing on the field. And our offense is just fabuloso. Fabuloso? You know, that's Italian for fucking awesome. You know, I actually listened to someone posted on Ravens Reddit. It was that Lamar Jackson crazy run. You know, another great highlight reel run for Lamar Jackson. Another week, another highlight. You know, it's life, death, taxes, and Lamar Jackson making highlights on Sunday. Those are your 4 guarantees in life. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so someone posted in the Ravens Reddit that awesome Lamar Jackson run. They posted the telecast from the Spanish version. Oh, it's freaking hilarious. Lamar Jackson! Cinco. He's going. I don't even know what the words are. Tengo. It was hilarious. Just hearing some Lamar Jackson! Go! Anyways, this shit's hilarious. Anytime there's a Spanish announcer, if I had the option, if Reddit gave me the option, I would 100% listen to it in Spanish. Do I know what they're saying? Not really. I know I live in New Mexico, and people around here do speak Spanish, but I'm too white to really know Spanish. I took it 2 years in high school, but you know, I never paid attention in high school. It seemed like such a waste of time. But yeah, man. Just super awesome, super hilarious. But this offense is cooking. Like I said earlier in the previous podcast and what I was talking about earlier, I said 42-33. And I was close. They got 41. I was 1 point off. And, you know, when I was saying 41, it's like, what? Or 42. It's like, that's a big fucking number. But I think this team can do it. I don't believe the Texans are that good of a defense. And then you look at the stats, like, oh, they're third against the run. Uh-oh, that doesn't bode well. Yeah, who cares, man? We ran the ball for 260 some odd yards. Go fuck yourself, bro. That's how we ran the ball today. I think they went from third against the run to like 13th in one game. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Hey, could you come over here and then go over there and go fuck yourself? I mean, wow. Stacking statements. Just like John Harbaugh said, they are stacking statements. The SS, because they are Nazis when it comes to running the football. Never mind. I don't want to put the Nazis and Ravens in the same vein, but I mean they are killing it. They are killing it, and they are mean. They're stacking statements. The SS. Heil Ravens. I'm Jewish. I can say this shit, so I'm going to get a Ravens armband. Man. Well, where do you go from there, right? I was talking about the offense. I mean, Lamar Jackson, he was throwing it a little bit high pretty much all game, but the way he was throwing it, it's not like high and over the middle. It was more high and to the outside. You know, he was putting it where only his receivers could get it. If they don't get it, it's okay. Maybe bring it down a little bit more, but he's not throwing picks, right? I think he's had 2 legit picks this year. The other ones, receivers either had their hand on the ball, there should have been a defensive penalty, or that one in the Steelers game, and the ball was on the ground. So it's like when we got that Marlon Humphrey penalty, it's like, oh, well, that's payback for all those other bullshit penalties that I feel like we got, like early on in the year. I feel like this is somewhat payback. You know, you can cash 2 of those trash calls for one blatant and obvious call this game, and John Harbaugh's like, yeah, we can't let them get points early on us. So we'll cash in our penalty tokens and we will not get that call on us, right? Even if he challenges it, the two penalty tokens should cover it. Pay the tab. But yeah, man, this offense, there's something I wanted to talk about. There was something else, but I feel like I kind of hit it throughout the whole thing because I broke down the defense a little bit, but I was gonna talk about the offense, but I feel like I said everything, in between everything. You gotta listen between the lines, man. Yeah, man, just an all around great fucking win. Sam Cack, he didn't punt all game. What? What? How much do we pay this guy? Should we just cut him and pick up another running back, tight end, anybody on defense, another linebacker, another cornerback? The option. There's so many options, so much room for activities. If he's not going to be out there kicking the ball, I get it. He holds the ball on the kicking, but maybe Tucker can do that himself. The guy's elite. But yeah, the guy didn't make a single punt all game. Plus, he only had one punt last game. What? I know he was already on pace to kick the least amount of punts this year. He is going to break that record by a long shot. If the offense continues like this, holy guacamole. One thing about the offense, though, that was upsetting to me was that they went for it on that fourth down with a fake kick. They lined up for the extra point, a 50-yard field goal. It's like, okay, yeah, I know Tucker just missed it, but let's see if he can redeem himself. But then they do this pitch play to Mark Andrews, and it's like, you couldn't pitch it to anybody faster? How many times have we gone for it on fourth down? Teams know we do this. It's not going to be, we're catching them off guard. They won't have a play called in. Ooh. No. We've gone for it on 4th and 7. We've gone for it on these bigger fourth downs, when the game isn't totally in hand. Why did we? No, that was before anybody scored a point. But it's like, why don't we just put our offense out on the field? That's what's going to give us our best chance to get the first down. I get it, sometimes the surprise, and when it doesn't work, it always like, oh, what the hell are you thinking? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. If it works, you're a genius. If it doesn't, then fire him. You're terrible. That's kind of the way the NFL is. But, they've been successful on fourth down. They've done this before. This isn't something new. So, it's like, why are you changing things up now? And I know they've gone for fake punts and shit like that, and it's worked. But Lamar Jackson is too elusive, too excellent of a player. He's going to be the MVP. Why not put him in? Why not get the ball in his hands? He is our best player. He's the best player in the league. Let's keep him on the field. I get it. You're not going to trick the defense, right? You're limiting that trick factor, I guess. But this offense is still so tricky. We are so multitude in the ways we attack people. Did y'all not see Pat Ricard bumbling and stumbling his way down the field? The guy didn't get tackled once. I don't think he ended up on the ground once. He was killing it in the blocking game. There were tons of times when that play was just sprung by Patrick Ricard. I don't think he played much on defense today because we got those new additions. Let's just throw them in there. But he's still just an excellent two-way player and a main reason why this team is successful. He is a booster to all players around him by the blocking ability, and and he can catch the ball too. And the Ravens decided to use him in the game. And it's a thing of beauty because the man's 300 pounds, right? He is running full speed. No one can get this man down. It's like, okay, they got him stopped, but he keeps bulldozing. It's fucking beautiful. I want to get me a Pat Ricard jersey. And I've said before, I'm not a huge fan of the jersey just because I don't want someone else's name on my back, which is a dumb thing. But you know what? Patrick Ricard, I would be proud. I would be honored to wear his name. The dude is a football fucking player. The dude's legit. And no one can bring him down. And I love him for it. I love you, bro. Patrick Ricard. You the man. I loved his Gene Simmons costume. That was hilarious. Nothing like a 300-pound man wearing short shorts. which sounds weird now that I'm saying it, but I think it's hilarious. Anyways, yeah, Patrick Ricard, he sprung that Gus Edwards run at the end. He got a beautiful block. He sealed the edge beautifully. And then you saw Miles Boykin blocking like 50 yards down the field. I don't know how long that run was, but he was blocking from like a 30-yard to like 60-yard point. I think it was like a 60-something yard run to really just ice the game or fire the game. I don't know what the term is. I guess ice the game, but it wasn't. I guess it was cool, but it wasn't cold. I guess it was cold. So I guess if that phrase does make sense. All right, I'm talking myself out of it. But that Miles Boykin block, that is a thing of beauty. Because that guy, he had the angle. He would have made the tackle. Gus Edwards isn't all that fast. He did have a full head of steam, and he looked like he was cooking. Like he was cooking on all cylinders. But he would have been caught by that safety. But Miles Boykin was there and said, "Not today, motherfucker." And he was a thing of beauty. And the receivers, they might not get a huge amount of stats. But, I mean, the team is winning. So, you're like, okay, we got to get these guys the ball. We got to keep them happy. I don't think this team is like that because winning cures all wounds, right? Anything you're upset about, oh, well, we're winning, so what the fuck does it matter? If I didn't make a catch today, who cares? Whatever. I thought Hollywood was going to have a huge game today. I thought he would have made that huge catch. It was pass interference, and when you slow it down, it didn't look like much. But the guy was definitely pushed him enough where it was like, okay, he would have been able to just run by that defender and make that catch. And there's a reason it was so incomplete. Hollywood, he's one of the best adjusters to the football, I think. The deep ball, I think he's excellent at adjusting to the ball. Not as good as Tyler Lockett, who I think is the best in the league at it. But he is definitely very good, and that's what kind of made him special. That's what makes Marquise Brown such a special player. His tracking of the deep ball, it's a thing of beauty. But yeah, man, I think he definitely would have caught that ball if it wasn't for that pass interference. And of course, you slow it down. It's like, what was that? You didn't do nothing. You watch it full speed. He was definitely pushed off the mark hard enough. But slowed down, it doesn't look like much. It's one of those things where sometimes the replay doesn't make it look as bad, but really it was. It's because sometimes you need the speed to really see what was going on. Yeah, man, all in all, Justice Hill got involved a little bit, towards the end of the game. He was making some good runs, but there's a couple times, like early on in the game, it's like, he's a smaller speed guy, and so when you get that, it's like, okay, he's elusive, but he's not a power runner. So, yeah, I've kind of seen that kind of pan out a little bit. Sometimes he gets arm tackled, and you're like, man, just one arm got you down, bro, spun you down. I get it, he can still stay up, and he still has done some special stuff, but it's like, damn, just fight through that one arm. You would have had it. You had that huge hole. So sometimes it's like, damn it, I want to see him get better at that. Can't expect it. He's still a rookie. I think he's just better as an outside kind of guy. Maybe like a zone type runner. I don't know the X's and O's too much if they do a lot of that. They do a lot of power running from what I hear, what it looks like, because they look pretty powerful up front. But, I mean, he seems like more of a, run to the outside kind of guy. But, with running the ball, you can't just have one guy does one thing every time. It's like, okay, well, he's in the game, so he is our outside run guy. It's like, well, then the defense knows what you're doing. I would get it if, like, okay, well, they still can't stop it. But I think the Ravens, their multitude of attacks, the way their multiplicity, I guess, that they bring with the offense, you can't pigeonhole one player into doing one thing. And that's what makes this offense kind of so special. You can try and beat us. I mean, I guess the Chargers put out the script to beat us, right? Didn't they? No. Any way a team has tried to stop us, we've done something else. Like, okay, well, we can do it this way. I mean, you saw from the first game of the year, the Dolphins were like, all right, well, we'll make you beat us throwing the ball. Bad idea. Bad fucking idea. You just got to be super disciplined, super well-balanced on defense to even have a chance. And even then, your players still have to execute against a quarterback like Lamar Jackson. He is something fucking special. Yeah, I've been saying it. I'm probably going to win $160 here at the end of the season when he wins the MVP, which is awesome because it was a dollar bet. I just threw a dollar on it. I'm like, hey, fuck it. Let's see. If it happens, it happens. That'd be awesome. And I'm pissed off because, like, man, what if I put $5 down? I'm winning $160. What's 160 times 5? 600. I don't fucking know. Math, not number one. But either way, man, definitely an exciting, awesome game. Didn't think we gonna do him like that. Shout out Earl Thomas. Mark Ingram, the hype man of the century. Whoop, whoop. Big whoop. Getting the game ball, that face he made, that's hilarious. That's a great meme. Team feeling itself, man. And I don't see it slowing down because it's like if it was going to slow down, it feels like it would have already happened by now. It seems like they're getting even stronger. I mean, I said it earlier. The Texans aren't a bad team. We just dominated them. We did to them what we did to the Bengals. And it was shocking. It was shocking. Love to see it. So I definitely won money on that game. Yeah, looking at my bets so far, the only one that I got wrong this week, actually I got two wrong. The Steelers game, I bet the under and the Steelers to win in a parlay, so that didn't pan out. And I also put a parlay on just like a small bet, but would have paid out big, is if the Cardinals won and the Bears won. Both of them were kind of in those games. I didn't really get a chance to watch it, so I don't know for sure, but score-wise, they were definitely pretty close, and they just seemed like two teams that out of nowhere they would have won, so got that wrong. That was a definite gamble. That's why it was like a $5 bet, would have paid me out something fierce, like $100-something. What was it? Yeah, it would have been like $150 if I won that on like a $5 bet. But I bet Cardinals 49ers on the over at 46.5. Got that one. The Ravens in the spread at -4. Got that one. The Patriots in the spread at -4. Got that one. And I got the Chiefs in the spread at -4 tonight. It's in Mexico City. I didn't realize that. Fuck. But Chiefs at -4. I will take that no matter who they're playing. Unless it's the Ravens nowadays. So yeah, I feel like the only way to beat this team is to cause a turnover on our offense and win in a shootout. And the way this defense has been playing, I do not see that happening. Like I said earlier, we could get a lapse in one game, but as of now, there are no signs of that. Like I said, it would have happened earlier, but we've been going for 47 minutes straight. Just had to pause it that one time when the phone call came in. So yeah, man, I'm craving some Raven. If you're listening to this, you are too. You're not just listening to a podcast, you are the podcast because you are craving some Raven. So thank you for listening and drop a like, all that fun stuff. It helps me out. Get my numbers up. I've been hanging out with a bunch of the Ravens YouTubers on the YouTube. So if you want to see my ugly mug, I'll probably show up on a stream near you. I showed up on Joe Nubo's, showed up on Sonny's, showed up on Engraven. He had a huge stream, and Engraven, he's got everybody's. He's got all the followers. He's got all of YouTube in his belt. He is the OG of Ravens YouTube. I know he hates hearing that. So, so yeah, man. Follow me on Twitter at CravenSomeRaven. It's spelled SM instead of some, but that's just weird because it's Twitter. Someone had taken Craven Some Raven, that little cunt. I don't know who it is. It's probably someone nice and chill, and I'd probably like to hang out with. So forget what I said to you at Craven Some Raven guy. But yeah, just follow me on Twitter. If you look that up, you'll find me. It's the same logo as the podcast. So very simple to see. Always tweeting out stupid shit, retweeting. Just my Twitter is just nothing but Ravens football stuff. I should probably expand my horizons to all my other interests. But, as of right now, we're cooking, feeling good, trying to get some more episodes out. Hopefully life doesn't get in the way like it seems to always do. So I will get my pick'ems out so you can hear my thoughts on other NFL teams, which I doubt you want to hear. You just want to hear me talk Ravens. I know. I get it. So thanks again. Drop a comment and all that stuff. Hit me up on Twitter. I am an open book. You hit me up, ask me anything, I will answer it. Actually, it's kind of a vague statement to make. I won't answer any question, but interact with me online. I will get back to you. I'm not a crazy busy person. Sometimes I am, but I'm always on my phone, right? I'm a millennial. I'm always on my phone. So Thank you for listening, and let's get another beatdown win this upcoming week. We'll break that game down on a later date, but I will leave you with a go, Ravens!